Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to the second ever episode of Now Spinning with Old Head. For those of you who didn't see the first episode, this is a series of videos where I dig into my vinyl collection and pull out some lesser known albums, and today some 7 inches to play some tracks for you. So it's just like you're hanging out with me in my room and I'm saying, hey, check this out. That's essentially what this is. If you did watch the last one, you'll notice that the formatting here, like how things look, is a little bit different. I don't have like my turntable and shit in front of me because putting that whole thing together was kind of a headache. So I've simplified things a little bit. Hopefully you don't mind. It's all the same shit anyway. You just won't get to look at my stupid face while the songs are playing. And I'm sure a lot of you are like, woo, damn, finally. Anyway, but you got to look at it right now. So, yeah. So I've selected some things, 5 tracks, 5 different artists, a few different types of it's all rock music, and a little hip hop sometimes with me. But today we're sticking to rock. But let's go ahead and just get into the first song that we're gonna listen to today. Okay, first up is a track from this album, Killer Instinct, from the band Gothic Slam, a lesser known thrash metal band from New Jersey. This album is their first album from 1988, and the song we're going to be listening to from this album is called Skankin'. This was put out on Torrid Records, and Gothic Slam were a band that only put out 2 records. Interestingly enough, though, their second album was actually on a major label, on Epic Records, but things didn't pan out for them, and then the band ended up dissolving around 1993. But they're fun if you're into just thrash metal as it is. No, you don't need to add any words on top of it. It's just thrash metal. If that's cool with you, you'll be cool with Gothic Slam. So let's go ahead and listen to the song Skankin'. right, so I hope you enjoyed Skankin' from Gothic Slam. By the way, like, I think several of these releases that I'm going to be playing from today, like, there's no CD version of this album. I think there's an unofficial bootleg one, but it was only released on vinyl and cassette back in 1988. So you're welcome. Moving on. Okay, next up, we're going to be heading back over to my hometown of Austin, Texas. On the last episode, I played you a track from an Austin noise rock band called Crown Roast, and we're going to keep the 90s Austin noise rock element going in this show with probably one of my favorite bands from Austin, Texas from back in the day. The band is called Sap. This is from a 7-inch split they did with a band called Polio, also from Austin. But Sap were a really fucking good noise rock band. They didn't make a really huge splash. They only have 3 releases. They have a 7-inch, a split 7-inch, and a split LP, all only available on vinyl. There you go. So that's the collector's dream right there. Like, holy shit, only on vinyl. Well, there you go. Not that a lot of people are crazy about this band. I don't hear anybody talk about them unless you were from Austin. And even then, they weren't like huge in Austin. But to me, they were fucking huge because they just fucking rule. Let's listen to the track from this 7-inch by Sap. The song is called Destroy Mine. So, like I said, Sap didn't make a huge splash, and they ended up dissolving sometime in the late 90s, I think. Some members went on to do other things, but they're also very underground things. But this is one of those bands that, like, you know, if the dudes from Sap are watching this, do you got some unreleased shit? I know there's a demo. I heard it back in the day with a different vocalist. Like, you send that shit my way, man. Or get back together. Let's do some reunion shows. Put on by Old Head. Shit, I wish I could pull off that kind of shit. I don't have that kind of clout yet. But anyway, great fucking shit from Austin, Texas. Let's move on. Hey, guess what? Next up, we have another album that is only available on vinyl or cassette. The first and only album from the band The Brood. This album came out in 1986, and look at these dudes. So this is, I guess it's considered crossover, but these dudes, I guess they look kind of punky, but they don't look metal at all. I mean, look at Home Dude's hair. I mean, that is the least metal hairdo I've ever seen. That guy right there looks like he's going to help you with your algebra homework. But anyway, this is a really fun album, and half of this band, a few years later, they would change their name to Uncle Slam, which is way more thrashy than what this is. You may have heard of them, but this is just a fun album, and we are going to be listening to track number 2 from this album, and it is called Born to Lose. There you go, The Brood. Cool band from California, later became Uncle Slam. The interesting thing, if you notice the record that was playing right then, it's on Profile Records, which is mostly known even today as a hip-hop label. But for some reason, they put out The Brood's album. So that's kind of a unique little tidbit. All right, moving on. Okay, moving back into the 90s and moving over to the UK. From a pretty unknown, I'd call them grunge-ish band called Yardstick. And this is their one and only album, Self-Relaxation for the Insane. And it's fucking great. If you love that sort of the heavier side of what would be considered grunge, the actual grunge, that's kind of where I throw these guys. But they were also very short-lived. I think they got together in 89 and they were broken up by probably 93. But we got this one really kick-ass album out of them, and we are going to be listening to side 2, track 1, which is called Tracers.
your mind, because perhaps you were in contact with hers.
Okay, Tracers, Yardstick, Self-Relaxation for the Insane. This one you can find on CD if you dig around on Discogs or whatever. And like I said, this is the only thing they released. Now, somebody did put out the Peel session that these guys did on YouTube. Maybe I'll put a link to that in the description. But it's really fucking good, and it shows how they kind of got heavier and better like after this album, but they didn't put anything else out. I read online that there were 2 7-inches, both of which weren't released. And that's interesting to me because once again, are there any people that were in Yardstick or know Yardstick? Where can I get those recordings? That would be fucking great because right now this is the only thing you can get your hands on from Yardstick, and they seem like a fucking great band. Anyway, all right, moving on to the last song of the night. Okay, before I head into this is a little bit of a trigger warning, I guess. This section of the video is not for the easily offended. Just gonna throw that out there, but nothing insanely bad on this, but you know, it's one of those things in these days that I gotta make sure everyone's comfortable, which is funny because I'm about to, you know, play something that people might be offended at, but at the same time, I believe a couple days ago, somebody in one of my video comments called me woke. So I guess I'm exactly where you need to be, in the middle of I don't give a shit and woke. That's me, boop, right smack in the middle. Anyway, so we're actually heading back to the year of my birth, 1978. This 7-inch I'm going to be holding up for you is as old as me. It's as the old head. The only 7-inch released, the only release from the band The Weasels, and it's called Beat Her With a Rake. And this is a very odd 7-inch. The band was from Los Angeles, and I don't know a whole lot about them. You try to look up shit about them online, and there's not a whole lot of information about what happened aside from the fact that they were a band. They put out the 7-inch. A few years later, they broke up. But I love the energy of this, and I love how weird it is, and I also love the dark humor because it's clearly supposed to be humorous, but it is a song mostly about beating a woman for being unfaithful. So take that as you will, and if you want to fuck off right now, go right ahead, but no offense is intended. Beating women is wrong. Do I even need to say that? Jesus Christ. So yeah, 1978, Weasels, Beat Her With a Rake.
One of those nights when I was feeling good. My baby was looking, yeah, just like she should. We went to the bar without a gin, but when I turned around, she was at it again, giving head in the corner to my best friend. Now, honey, I can't take it. Yeah, this is your hand. And now that you had your fun, honey, well, I had about all I could take. So I beat her with a rake and made a baby a mistake. Beat her with a rake and made a baby a mistake. Beat her with a rake and made a baby a mistake. Beat her with a rake and made a baby a mistake. I proceeded to drag her right out of the bar. I dragged her on the concrete. I threw her into the car. And I drove the bitch home. And I beat her again. Oh, honey, I can't take it. And this rakes your hand. I ain't never had fun with you. In fact, I had about all I could take. So I beat her with a rake and made a baby a mistake. Beat her with a rake and made a baby a mistake. Beat her with a rake and made a baby a mistake. Beat her with a rake Reagan made her pay for her mistake. And I can reflect. The woman was evil. She had no respect. And I know I did the right thing when I beat her dead. Cause no bitch of mine gives out free head. And now that you had your fun, woman, well, you know I had all I could take. So I beat her with a rake and made her pay for her mistake. Beat her with a rake and made her pay for her mistake. Beat her with a rake and made her pay for her mistake. Beat her with a rake and made her pay for her mistake. I beat her with a rake. 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 I beat her with a rake. Beat her with a rake. Beat her with a rake. I beat her with a rake.
All right, is everybody still here? So yeah, Weasels, Beat Her With a Rake. That song's fun as fuck, but also kind of weird that it existed in 1978, and that's why I had to have a copy of it. And like I said, this is the only official thing they ever released. The weird thing is if you look, I don't know if this is also on Spotify, but if you look on Apple Music, there's a thing called the Weasels Anthology. And it's weird because I only know about them recording the 2 songs that are on this. And if you listen to the recording of Beat Her With a Rake on that, it sounds like it was completely re-recorded aside from the vocals and with a more modern sound. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? It was put out by Cleopatra Records, apparently, but I can't find any information on that. So I have no idea what that even is. So as it stands, to me, for what I can actually confirm, this is the only thing the Weasels ever put out. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you enjoyed this episode of Now Spinning with Old Head. Now that I found kind of a simpler way to do this, I think I'll do them more often, especially if you guys dig it. Put your comments down below and let me know what you thought. But I'll probably be back in a couple months at least with another one of these. So thank you very much for watching and listening and being here. And I will see you all again very, very soon.